There we go. All right, so I was telling Christina that the only people that responded wanted to hear about keto. So that's the information that I brought. And you know that I started keto back in 2016. So I've been doing it for a while. But what you probably don't know is this year with COVID, everything changed. So when I got COVID in July, I was forced to stay home, of course. I was quarantined. So what do you do when you're home by yourself?
Eat.
Nothing to do. I just ate. And I was like, oh, you know, it's fine. I can eat some pasta. It's not going to kill me. And then it was like a slippery slope and it didn't stop. So it has to stop now. So I've got to get back into it. But I thought maybe if other people wanted to join us in that journey, that we could all have each other to lean on and have some kind of support system. And, you know, so I'm just going to go into what keto is and how to do it and the nuts and bolts. And then I'm going to let you take over and tell about your journey. And I'm going to record this and I'm going to put it on my Facebook business page so that people can come and look at it if they want any of that information. Okay, so keto's been around for, like I said, I started in 16 and it had been around before then, but it's actually a lot older than that because they were using it for seizures. They were using it as a diet for seizures for children, and it was very effective for that. So it may not be for everybody, but it worked for me. And as long as you're doing it and not eating the pasta, then I feel like it works. So, so what it is a high fat diet, a low carb diet, and a moderate protein. So you'll replace pastas and things like that. Are you guys hearing those beeps still?
I'm not.
Okay, good. Okay. You'll replace the starchy breads and the sugar and all of that stuff with high fat foods like high fat proteins like meats and avocados and things like that instead of bread or sugar. Like I said, it's used to treat health conditions. They were using it for seizures, but it also helps arthritis, and it's phenomenal how much better I felt with my arthritis. And it helps treat diabetes, chronic inflammation from things like arthritis. It helps you sustain energy. You have less cravings. You reduce that sugar addiction. You have mental clarity, and you feel full longer. So, and when we're talking about low carb, we're actually talking about very low carbs. So about 5% of your diet would be carbs. So if you have a tracker like MyFitnessPal, you can actually put that in there to decipher how many carbs and proteins and fats you eat for the day, and it'll tell you if you're over or under or whatever. So you want to keep it about 5% carbs. And the rule of thumb is when you start out, about 20 carbs a day. And that is net carbs, not total carbs. So you take your total carbs minus your fiber, and that's your net carbs. A lot of people do it that way. Some people do total carbs. It's your preference. And then on your protein, you want to do about 6 to 1 grams of protein per lean body mass. So if you weigh 250 pounds and 30% of that is body fat, you have 75 pounds of fat and 175 pounds of lean mass. So you would want to keep your protein between 105 to 175 grams of protein a day. And if you need help with those numbers, just contact me and I can do the numbers for you. And then you want to keep high fat. So fat is what's going to keep you satiated throughout the day. So when you're wanting to find where you get fat, you don't want to sit and eat a stick of butter, right? You can use high fat food, high fat meats, fatty cuts of meats like prime rib, ribeye steak. I know we're not going to eat those things every day. So if you get hamburger from the store, instead of choosing the 90-10, choose the higher fat. It's got more fat in it, but it also has more flavor. So that's going to flavor that hamburger for you. And then you get your extra fat that way too. So in the first 3 to 7 days of being on the ketogenic diet, you're going to go into ketosis. And that's where your body is now burning carbohydrates instead of other things as its fuel source. So it's depleting all your glycogen stores for energy. Your body adapts to using fat for fuel after that storage is all gone. And so your liver will produce ketones. And if you wanted to check your ketones, they do have a couple of different things that you could use. They have the ketone sticks, which are not accurate at all. So I wouldn't even bother buying those. But they also have like a monitor like this. And this monitor is actually, it will tell your blood sugar levels and it will tell your ketones. And it's a little more spendy than some of them, but it's dual purpose. So you really don't even have to check it. It's not necessary. Just if you're keeping within that 20 grams of carbs a day, you're in ketosis. Let's see. Next, I'm just going through notes here just to make sure I don't leave anything out. Like I said, your brain gets the energy that it needs from the fat. So a lot of people think that they won't have, they won't be as cognitive on keto, but it's actually the opposite. You'll be more cognitive. You'll have more energy. It will be like it's like day and night. You won't be so lethargic and tired. And then a lot of people ask if it's healthy. It is absolutely healthy. There are some people that can't do ketogenic diet. And for them, they really should ask their doctor first before trying anything like anything, obviously. If you underlying conditions, of course, you need to ask your doctor. But the things that it will help with are weight loss, improved heart health, sustained energy levels, the epileptic seizures, diabetes treatment, improved PCOS, less severe acne, hope. There's hope for brain treatment, brain disease treatment, and increased longevity. So I have a lot of citations and studies that show the sources for that information that I just kind of rambled through. If you wanted to get any of those, I can send you that information as well. So what do you eat and drink on keto? Like I said, you eat plenty of fat, butter, ghee, oils, olive oil, avocado oil, coconut oil, beef tallow, lard, MCT oil, heavy whipping cream, which is what I put in my coffee, if I drink coffee. Lots of animal products, low carb vegetables, avocados, Brussels sprouts, tomatoes, Swiss chard, things like that. You can add in some fruits like berries, coconut, kiwi, lemon and lime, plums. Snacks, you could have low carb snacks like nuts and seeds and jerky. and what do you drink? So a lot of people are addicted to sugars in sodas. I think Brandy had something she found that she likes. This is something that my husband drinks. These are Thai drinks. He likes these a lot. I drink nothing but iced tea, unsweetened iced tea. And you could have smoothies. And they say,
I'm sorry, what?
I'm sorry,
What
which
did you? The first one. You could have.
smoothies?
Oh, okay.
With if you wanted to do smoothies like heavy whipping cream and berries, and you could do like a sweetener like stevia, erythritol, monk fruit. Those are good sweeteners if you wanted to use it for a smoothie. Or if you prefer sweetened tea, which I don't, you could use any of those as well. You want to avoid the high sugars, grains, and starches, and most fruits. You can do berries, like I said. You want to avoid starchy vegetables like potatoes, carrots, corn, sweet potatoes, parsnips, things like that, like root vegetables. They're really starchy. You want to avoid high carb condiments like ketchup and things like that that have high sugar levels. You could do mustard and organic mayo, but a regular processed mayo has a lot of stuff in it that you don't want to use, like oils that you don't want to use. Artificial sweeteners are okay if they're like the ones that I just mentioned, like stevia, monk fruit, and those. But the other ones that have, you know, the little pink packets and the little blue packets, you don't want to use those. Avoid alcohol because when you are on keto, your alcohol tolerance is very low. So if you were to drink a glass of wine, you're probably going to be pretty toasted. And then whenever you are feeling a little loose, you might just go for the starchy foods. You might just eat a bag of potato chips. So that's a whole personal preference, but there's also things to remember whenever you first start called keto flu. Did you have it, Brandy? Keto flu? No?
No, I
No.
don't just do keto. I kind of mix and match. I mean, I do the no
So you
carb, all that, but
carb cycle maybe?
maybe I never felt sick. I do like 20 carbs sometimes per meal.
Okay.
Sometimes I don't, but that's what I allow myself, and I carry
Right.
with that.
Right. So if you do get the keto flu, there's a lot of things that you can do to do it, to get rid of it, to even avoid it. But within the first 3 to 7 days, your body is just getting rid of all of this stuff, and you're depleting a lot of water, a lot of electrolytes, and things like that. So you want to make sure you replenish those. So I'm not affiliated with any of these companies, so I'm just showing you the things that I use and that I like. So these are electrolyte drops. I got it from Keto Chow, and it has sodium, magnesium, and potassium. And this works really good if you get cramps in your feet or in your legs. If I get any cramps, I just take a shot of that. Very salty. So you want to get some water immediately. You got to drink a ton of water. You're going to be eating out a lot, but you're also going to be replenishing with some electrolytes. This is something else I use. So
Oh yeah.
another thing that you might experience constipation. So
Sometimes.
for that, and it's also good for the cramps in your feet or your legs. And like I said, I'm not affiliated with any of these companies, but this is just what I found has worked for me. And this is pretty good. This one is, I think this is raspberry lemon lime. So it's pretty good. So those are kind of the things that you just have to be aware of that might happen. You don't want to restrict your calories because you're going to feel full when you're eating enough fat. Your body will tell you how much you need to eat. You want to keep your protein pretty moderate, because if you're eating too much protein, you're not going to go into ketosis. Don't be afraid of fat. Fat is good. I know that we were raised in a day that we were told that fat is bad and you should only eat, rice cakes and no fat. Fat is actually healthy for you. It's good for you. It's good for your skin. It's good for your nails. It's good for your hair. It's good for your body. It's good for your brain. If you are a snacker and like, I want to eat a bag of popcorn, try things like nuts and jerky and cheese. And if you're having a sweet tooth and you're like, I really need some chocolate, do dark chocolate. You can use a nut butter with it, like an almond butter. Cashews are kind of high in carbs, but you know what? If it's going to make you not eat a candy bar, I would eat cashew butter. I would eat a handful of cashews.
I really like the Lily's chocolates. I do that a lot.
Lily's chocolate? Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They're a little spendy, but like I said, if it's going to
It's worth it if you're having a craving or something.
Right. If it's going to keep you from eating that candy bar, for sure. Yeah. Like I said, with your getting more fats, you want the fattier cuts of meat, and you can make fat bombs. Have you made fat bombs? No. So if you guys want recipes for fat bombs, ask me. I give you some really good recipes, and they are delicious. And if you eat one, you'll probably be satisfied. But if you have to have two, why not? There's no sugar in it. So, and also another way to get extra fat is to add fat to your veggies. So if you want to add some butter to your broccoli, by all means. We went over the side effects of keto, some of those things. And I'm going to let Brandy take it from here and tell us about her journey. One more thing is I wanted to say to make sure you're taking your vitamins.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Take it away, Brandy.
Okay. I started all this, let's see, I can hear better. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, good. I started all this about 3.5 months ago in September because I was told that I'm type 2 diabetic, and I was like, I need to make a change in my life, and I had been wanting to for a long time, just to lose weight. I couldn't lose weight on anything else that I tried until I started taking out all my the breads, the grains, the sugar, all that stuff. And I just started doing just taking that out, and then taking some advice from my mother-in-law, who is also diabetic, type 1. And so sometimes like I'll still eat like pizza. I'll have like an almond flour tortilla and make a pizza out of that. And like I allow myself about 20 carbs per meal because that's what I personally can handle, and I still lose that way. I don't do it all the time. Sometimes I'm like, no, I don't want anything but cheese on my salad, and then some meat. I don't want any more carbs than that. But I allow myself to do that. When I first started, I think like I thought, and I felt like crap all the time, but I think I thought that like eating less was like better. And so like I wouldn't eat breakfast, I wouldn't eat lunch half the time, and then I'd eat like ice cream or something crappy, and then I'd feel horrible, and I was like starving my body. And because I'm diabetic, that was like the worst I do, and I didn't know. Is I know people that like fast, a couple meals, and they're great. I can't do that. Like my body, I mean, I probably could now, but when I started, there's no way. And so like I would boil eggs, use those for snacks. I would eat every 2 hours. I had to, and I was dropping weight like crazy. I dropped like a pound a day when I first started, just because I was eating. Like, it's so amazing how you can lose weight eating. I think it's just the healthy foods that you got to remember. Like, it's better to eat than not to eat, but you got to put good stuff in your body. And so I started doing that. And then within a month, I was like, oh, I feel better. So, like, I just eat my meals and I eat like small things, like, but if I want something big, like I have, my eggs, my meat for breakfast, but sometimes like I'm like, I want something extra. So I do like a almond tortilla, or I'll make like a cinnamon, like yummy, like snack with like swerve with it. And I put it in the oven. And so like I feel like I'm not deprived of anything, because if I want something, I eat it. Like if I want, and yes, some of the stuff is more pricey, but to me, it's like, it's worth it so that I, can be healthy and not be sick. I mean, like, I really didn't have a choice, because it was like one of those things where, because everyone's like, oh, you're so disciplined. What made you so? I was like, yeah, it was a matter of I either live or I die. Like, so that's kind of what motivated me. And I just thought that if I exercised, before all this, that I'd be fine. But I never lost very much. I lost like maybe 3 to 5 pounds, and that was it. So I've lost 26 pounds total, and I'm still going. So, but I don't know. I just learned to just, yeah, get used to those different things. And to me, they taste good. Like my kids had like some chocolate that was a little bit lower in carb, but I took a bite of it just to taste it today. And I like was like, ugh, I like spit it out, because it was disgusting to me. It was too sweet, and I'm like, ew, it was gross. Like, you just get used to a certain way of life and eating that way. And I've had some people like kind of be frowned on me. Like, they'll ask me what I'm doing, and I'll tell them, and they'll be like, oh, it's like, well, if you don't want to lose weight, like, honestly, like, the best way to lose weight is to take those, like, the sugars out, the breads out, the grains out. If sometimes, like, if I want popcorn, I have it. I don't have very much. That's like my cheat food, but I try not to allow myself to have too much, just because it's not great for me. So, but I don't ever cheat with like breads or sugars or any of that, because I really can't. It's not good for me. And, it has improved. It's improved my energy, how I feel. I do need to take my vitamins, like you said, because when I don't, I feel like I'm dragging. But it's helped a lot. The only thing that I'm noticing, and that's more of a insulin issue that has nothing to do with what I'm eating, is my fasting numbers. They shoot up. So we're trying to figure that out. I'm still on medication, and my doctor put me on another medicine to try to figure that out. But as far as like just eating to feel good and be healthier, I feel like I'm on the road. I can probably learn some more things and do some more things, but I feel like, I'm proud of myself, but at the same time, I feel like I really didn't have a choice, but I guess everybody has a choice. I know people that have that same thing, and they choose to not be healthy. So, but it's down the road, you're not going to live very long. So,
Right.
yeah.
Right. I'm super proud of you. I've known you.
Thank you.
I don't even know how many years I've known you, and we've always,
A long time.
yeah, we've always done this whole try this, try that, and 26 pounds. That's amazing. And
Yeah.
that's amazing. I'm so proud.
Do what? Oh, thank you.
26 pounds in 3 months. That's something.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Yeah.
I see little girls back there behind
Pretty
me.
exciting. Yeah, they're say hi.
I miss you, girls.
They've gotten huge.
Yeah, they have. So with that being said, this is exciting. So this is what I did today. Don't tell my boss. She doesn't care. But I put together a meal plan. So this is a 1-week meal plan.
Okay.
So I have this in an email form and it's a PDF form, but like this is Monday, breakfast, lunch, dinner. Tuesday, breakfast, lunch, dinner. So it's a 1-week meal plan and I made a couple of them. And on the PDF file, so this is page 1. Then page 2 is like basically the same thing as page 1, but it's not in a calendar form. Because some people like just a list form better. It's better for some people than a calendar. And then that's page 2 and 3. Then the next page, next couple of pages, is a shopping list for all of the things on the meal plan. So you can go through and see what you have, what you need. And this is a timeline that tells you if you're not a meal prepper, like that's one of the biggest things for me that keeps me going and makes me eat what I'm supposed to eat is meal prepping. So if I meal prep on Sunday, cut all my vegetables and things like that, and they're ready, I don't have as much of a desire to just grab something quick. So this is a timeline if you're not a meal prepper and you're like, oh, what am I going to have today? This tells you like in the morning on Sunday, go to the grocery store. Go take the meat out for lunch today. Take the meat out for dinner today. Things like that. So it just tells you it's a timeline of what the things that you need to do for the day. And then every recipe for everything that's on the meal plan is after that. So in the PDF, yeah, that's all recipes after that. So in the PDF that I have, that I can send you, there's a little bookmark up on the top. In some formats, it's up on the top left, or top right. And some formats, it's on the same level on the left. So it'll be a little bookmark. It's like a little triangle inside of a rectangle. You know what I mean? Trying to see if I can find one. But anyways, you hit the bookmark, and if you want to go to the recipe for breakfast hash, you go down, click breakfast hash, it'll take you down to that recipe. So I have a couple of weeks worth of meal plans done, and I can do 52 weeks. I can do whatever you guys need. So if that's something you want, let me know. Also, I am doing, and Christina might do this too, because I think she took some notes. But I'm doing.
Actually, I'm diabetes education nutrition therapy office. I run the office.
Oh, wow.
So,
that's awesome. So I'm doing keto parties for Pampered Chef. So in my parties, I'm going to be showing how to meal prep some of these recipes and showing how to cook them. So if you want to host a party, I know you already hosted one, but for other people, if they want to host a party and learn more about keto and invite their friends that might want to learn about keto, I'm going to be doing that for 2021. All right, so that's all I have. Brand, do you have anything else? You're muted.
Oh yeah, I'm trying to get it. Okay. No, I mean, you got to do what works for you. And like I said, like I'm not doing all keto, but I'm staying within the basis of it where I don't eat sugar, I don't eat breads, I don't eat
Right.
all of that. So
and with this meal plan, I'm thinking too that people can pick and choose if they want to use 5 recipes out of the week. At least they'll have 5 more recipes than they had last week, you know.
oh yeah, I like the meal plan thing because I've kind of been just going with the flow. And
Mhm.
it's worked for me, but it would be nice to have a little bit more of a plan.
Right.
So
I have to have a plan. I've got to plan it out, or else I'm gonna grab some chips or something. What about you, Christina? Did you have anything to add?
No, I was just looking for for some stuff that I took with me before I left. I have a spice blending sheet for
Awesome.
roasting vegetables and how to
oh,
properly
cool.
roast.
Oh, awesome. You want me to
Nice.
scan those?
Send them to you via email,
Yeah.
and then you can
Yes.
distribute out. I think I've got a prepare your week for successful eating thing with the shopping list and your plan thing, but you've got that
Oh
one
man, you're
already.
on it.
That's awesome.
Let's see what else I have to help you guys. I don't do keto.